The British opposition has come out all guns blazing against the Prime Minister Rishi Sunak again, alleging a disconnect with the masses. This after Sunak defended his government's plans to battle inflation, saying it is difficult for people to understand the scale of the government's support with energy bills. While speaking at a business event in Leicestershire, Sunak said a typical family will have had about half of their energy bills paid for by the government over the past several months. Sunak was speaking on the UK government's energy price guarantee. Under this plan, the UK government limited energy bills for a typical household to more than $3,000. However, the plan ended in July. This particular comment drew criticism from opposition parties. The Labour Party said Sunak wants to patronise people by telling them they don't understand what's happening. And the Liberal Democrats said Sunak's comments show he is woefully out of touch. The opposition has stepped up the attacks on the Prime Minister using the public disconnect weapon repeatedly against him. And Sunak has even been tagged the Minister 1%, implying that he only identifies with just 1% of the British public. Meanwhile, Sunak claimed his plan to halve inflation by the end of this year is working. All this comes after the latest figures showed that inflation did slow last month. Official figures show a sharp drop in inflation to 6.8%. The UK's Office for National Statistics says the drop in gas prices happened due to the change in the energy price cap. Prices of some food items, such as bread and cereal, have eased, although food prices themselves are nearly 15% higher than last year, and the pressure on household finances stays. Well, for more on this, we're joined by our correspondent Alex Isaac, joining us live from London. Alex, this Mr 1%, the Minister of 1%, is this a kind of tag that is likely to be successful for the opposition parties when they're referring to Prime Minister Sunak?
Well, I think you rightly pointed out already that it does seem to be the constant back and forth, pointing out that Prime Minister Rishi Sunak and his wife are incredibly wealthy. But let's not forget that Keir Starmer as well also is in that high percentage. So there are going to be these tit for tats, I think, we're going to see it all the way until the general election. But of course, Rishi Sunak doesn't want to be seen as someone that's completely out of it. He wants to be thought of as someone for the people. When he came and gave those 5 promises, it was the promises that people did want. They wanted to see the NHS waiting lists go down. They wanted to see more nurses being employed, and they wanted to see a difference to the migrant crisis and the cost of living as well. So those were the things that the people did want. However, it doesn't feel for people on the ground that any of that has changed. There has been some movement towards changing how we are seeing the NHS. There was a 6% public sector pay rise, but of course we're still having the doctor strikes, and there are ongoing issues with the energy cap. We do know that it's obviously been a lot of money given from the government to help families, but that cap itself has been rising and rising, even though energy prices have dropped, and many people are asking why there wasn't a windfall tax on the profits. Those are the questions that people are repeatedly asking, and of course the opposition parties are going to be ensuring that any questions or anything that doesn't quite add up is going to be brought into the public forum. But when it comes down to it, there doesn't seem to be many answers. Suggesting that Rishi Sunak is out of touch is one thing, but how would they fix the situation? And neither Labour nor Lib Dems ultimately come out with any kind of solutions. They haven't been in power for as long as the Conservatives have. Of course, they would say that when they get in, if they get in, that they will be looking to see the situation before making any complete judgment. So it's easy at the moment to throw out this, these 1%, these nicknames, but when it comes down to making changes within the government, when and if they do get in, then that's something that they're going to have to consider, and all of this will probably go back to them.
Alex Isaac joining us live from London, many thanks.